Good evening, everyone. Good evening, guys. How we doing? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good to be here again this evening. Good evening, guys. If you can hear me loud, clear, let me know that you are here and we are set to go. All right. If you're set and ready, please let me know that you're set so that we can proceed ASAP. If you're ready, if you're set, let me know. Let me know so we can proceed. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. Please, once you join us, let's know your name and where you're joining us from. Once you get to join us, let's get your name and where you're joining us from so that we can proceed. All right. Let's get your name and where you are joining us from this evening. I'm very hopeful it's going to be an amazing evening as usual. Uh, let's get your name and let's know where you're joining us from. Once you join in, let's go, guys. Let's go. Type on the comment section. Let's know where you're joining us from. And let me know if my voice is loud, clear, no hitches, no issues. Let me know, okay? We we started about 15 minutes late. um I had to leave on emergency kind of a few minutes to 7 o'clock, so but we're here now. Okay, so once you join, let's get your name and let's know where you're joining us from. All right, let's go. I'm hopeful it's going to be a very wonderful evening as usual. We've been having School of Wisdom for the past 1 month or so now. So I'm very hopeful that today's session will be anything different from the amazing and impactful sessions we've been having so far. Okay. So please, once you join, share the link. That's the first thing to do. Once you join, share the link. Once you join, please do well to share the link to your friends and family, to anyone that you know that should be here. Kindly share the link with them, please. Okay. Once you join, share the link on your WhatsApp status, on your Instagram story. Let every young person on your contact know that something is happening this evening. And I'm very hopeful today will be a blessing to every one of us. I'm very hopeful and I trust God for that. Okay. So, just by way of introduction, okay, I see every one of you typing. Ijomachi Wendo, I see you joining from Nasarawa State. Good to see you. Okoro Nehemiah Soros from Abuja. Good to see you. Luby Moses from Abuja. Good to see you. Mahmoud Abu Sufyan, all the way from Niger State. Good to see you. Gloria Titilayo. Good to see you also. All right. So, by way of introduction, for those of you that may be joining for the first time, we're having conversations as regards destiny. We're having conversations around the issue of purpose, conversations around mistakes that you must not make especially as a young person, as a person generally, but however, most detrimental if you are a young person. And that's a discussion we've been having this past few weeks, and we'll continue on that discussion again this evening. All right. So, like I said, please make sure you've joined, make sure you've shared the link to on your WhatsApp story so that we can proceed. So, let's just start with a short prayer because I want us to go straight to the point this evening. Father, we thank you this evening. We give you praise. Thank you. It's another privilege for us to learn, for us to grow. We ask the Lord that you help us, be with us this evening. Let the discussions we'll be having this evening be impactful in the life of everyone listening. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, so let's proceed. So, just a quick recap from what we've been discussing for the past, from last week. Let me just give you a brief recap of everything we've been discussing. So we started with me explaining the reason why mistakes as regards destiny are very detrimental, the reason why you shouldn't make such mistakes. And I went ahead to mention five of them. We're supposed to mention 10, but we're only able to cover about five before we were able to exhaust the time we had last week. So I started with first mistake, which is living a life without purpose. That was the first mistake I mentioned. I mentioned that first mistake that you must not make as regards life and destiny is that you must not live life without purpose. Live without understanding your purpose. Let me share my screen and just type these things out so that those of you joining can also, write it down if you want to write them down, and you can catch up from there. Okay. So I'll share my screen shortly so that every one of you can follow through, and please let me know whether you can see my screen. So okay, so let me know if you can see my screen, please. I'm sharing my screen now. If you can see my screen, please let me know that you can see my screen. Let me follow up over here. If you can see my screen, please let me know that you can see my screen. All right. Uh, uh, Sorry, guys, I'm trying to join with my device here so I can also keep tabs with what you guys are also saying. Okay, okay, I can see someone saying, okay, 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 you can see my screen. Okay, that's fine, fantastic. All right, fantastic. So let's go. So I mentioned that the first mistake that you must not make as regards life and destiny is number one, living life. Why is this transparent now? Okay. Okay. So number one, living life without purpose. Living life without a purpose. I explained that it's purpose that gives meaning to your life. It's purpose that gives satisfaction to your life. When you live a life without purpose, one of the many things that you notice in your life is that you barely be satisfied with what you are doing. But my mouse is just misbehaving this evening. Um, okay. Uh-huh. Good. Okay. Living life without purpose. Okay. Now, I went ahead to mention that the second mistake of life that you must not make is the mistake of always focusing on your weakness. I mentioned that what the reason why that is so is because most times when you focus on your weaknesses, you tend to ignore your God-given strength. And God works with you best when He knows that you are also as much as interested in your strengths as much as He's also interested. So every single time where you keep magnifying the mistakes you make, keep magnifying the things that are not working out in your life, ignoring the real things that are actually working, the things that you should actually give you progress. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people waste so much time and end up achieving nothing out of life. So focusing on your weaknesses is the second mistake that we mentioned that you must not make. Okay, on your weaknesses. And then we went ahead to mention the third one. I'm just giving a quick recap so we can jump into today's zone, which was playing with addictions, or we can say ignoring addictions. And I went ahead to give you guys stories, different stories of how addictions can ruin your life, how addictions can change the physiological metabolism and balance of your body, and ultimately destroy your life. Okay, so nobody wakes up one day and decides that he's going to be an addict. Nobody wakes up one day and decide that I want to become a drunkard, or I want to become addicted to crack or cocaine or anything like that. It all starts, little by little by little, and before you know it, you just can't come out again. I had a discussion with a friend, yesterday. He mentioned that, at some point in his life he found himself at some kind of crossroads. Okay, so he found himself at with the bad influences and all of that, and one of his friends that actually joined that particular place with him, came in and just, started smoking, started drinking, because everybody there was also drinking and also smoking. And this is 3 years down the line. Last discussion he had with the same person that, actually introduced him to that lifestyle, is now the one coming back to ask him, for 5K, 2K, 3K, that kind of thing. So, and this is the same person that, obviously was doing well at some point, but just, wound up with wrong addictions, and then his life is looking forward to being ruined. But so please don't play with addictions, all right? So number 4 is building wrong expectations about life. Building wrong expectations about life. Of life. Okay, and I mentioned that the reason why this is so is that whatever it is you expect out of life is actually what comes to you. If you don't look forward to anything good out of life, nothing good will come out of life. And if you keep looking forward to bad things happening to you in life, bad things will always keep happening to you. So that's one of the many reasons why you should not make this kind of mistake. So let's move to number 5. I talked about entitlement mentality. Okay. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody in this life owes you anything. Okay. If you have entitlement mentality, you always keep waiting for one savior somewhere to come and look after you, to come and, to come and save you. But trust me, nobody's coming. Okay, so as much as possible, you need to let go entitlement mentality and, get on with your life. Okay, so that's said, let's go to number 6. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? For ready, please let me know that we are set so that we can go straight into today's teaching. So that was a brief recap of everything we discussed on the first day last week. So if you're ready, type ready on the chat. Let me know that you guys are ready so that we can start today's session ASAP. Okay, so today I'll be sharing the last 5 mistakes of destiny that you must not make. Now, when I started this teaching series, I mentioned that there are over maybe even a million mistakes that you might make. The reason why I'm highlighting these 10 specifically for the School of Wisdom is because of how detrimental I've seen that these mistakes can affect people's life. I've seen how detrimental that these mistakes can ruin people's life unattended, and if you take these things for granted. So, the reason why we're highlighting this thing, there are many more mistakes that you might likely make, but however, we're highlighting this 10 because personally, I've seen people make these mistakes. I see how they turned out, and over again, a lot of people are making these same mistakes blindly. Hence, this teaching. All right. So let's go. I see people typing ready. So let's move straight up. So the 6th mistake that you must not make as a young person. Now, I would say this in such a way that I believe it will help everybody. Okay. Now that's simple. The 6th mistake that you must not make is marrying the wrong person. Now this one is I'll be very, very particular in the way I explain this, so I don't get, because I know some people, by the time I start explaining this thing, some of you that might even be married already might begin to feel a certain way. But however, that's not the intention. The reason is so that at the end of the day, you'll be able to actually maximize whatever relationship you find yourself currently. So I will put this: marrying the wrong person, or stroke entering the relationship wrong relationships of life. Okay, so let me zoom out so that we can, do justice to this particular topic. Now, let me tell you this straight up. Life is a product, every man's life is a product of relationships, the kind of relationships you keep. Now, what's of a the reason why I highlighted the relationship of marriage, or maybe a romantic, cordial relationship you have with somebody, maybe your fiance, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or someone you're looking forward to get married to. The reason why I'm highlighting that kind of relationship as, making the mistake of entering the wrong one as a destiny mistake. The reason why I'm highlighting it is because why every other relationship you have in life can, in many ways, influence you, this one can ultimately destroy you. And the reason why that is so is, for instance, let me give you a very practical example. I've seen people who come from rich families. I've seen people who come from poor families. In fact, relationship is that important that you, God gets to choose it for you by default. Nobody wakes up one day and decided, okay, well, when I want to come to this world, I want to be the child of Dangote. I want to be the child of I want to be the child of Tedola, or I want to be the son or daughter of Bill Gates. Nobody gets to choose. You just wake up one day and then you find out that, bro, I'm the son of one Okafor, you know, Nehemiah from Enugu or something. Or you just wake up one day and they tell you your name is Chazokam, you're the son of one Bennett Obinwa somewhere. Nobody gets to choose, right? Now, the reason why I totally believe, I sincerely believe that God makes that decision to choose the earthly relationship that you start with is because in God's default plan, there is always a reason, there's always a game plan. However, human beings at the end of the day sometimes influence that decision by attaching themselves or making or starting up the wrong relationship that God did not institute for them. And let me tell you also, I started with making a comparison. I've seen rich people, I've seen people that come from rich families, I've seen children that come from rich families, I've seen rich children that come from poor families. Sometimes you can just be walking on the street and maybe you just meet a random, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 7 year old child. Just by interacting with that child, somehow, you can be able to tell if this child is from a rich home or from a poor home. The child himself, herself, him. Okay, let me use a him now. Let's say he's a 7 year old boy. Seven is too much. Let's even use 6 or 5. Okay, now that 5 year old child consciously doesn't even know that his father might be rich. He might not know. But by reason of behavior, interacting with the parents, interacting with the environment he sees himself, somehow begins to behave entirely differently from a child who was born from a poor home, who has been, has maybe spending most of his time in the slums, going to a public school, treks to school every day. Somehow, by the time you bring the two children at 5 years, the reason I'm using 5 years is because this is the age where children are most they are kind of innocent. They don't know. There's no show off at that age. At that age, they don't even know, even if their father is the president, they don't really know. They can just wake up one and call him daddy when maybe he's on the news or something, or maybe he's maybe having a corporate meeting. They don't care. They'll just come, jump on you, rub oil all over your face, because they don't really know that you're the president. They don't know that you're a wealthy man. They don't know you're the richest man in Africa or in America, wherever you are. You understand? But however, the mentality and the environment that that child has been trained to go through by default is training that child differently from a child who is from a poor home, and an unintentional poor home at that, because their thinking is different, the way they talk is different, the possibilities they tend to exhume is different, the possibility they tend to express is different. The way they talk, their mannerisms are just different. Now, the reason why that is so is because of the power of the relationships they have around their life at that time. They have a parent which they did not choose. Let's say, for instance, the guy from the rich family now. The father is always positive. You need this, okay, I'll get it for you. You need a toy car, I'll buy for you. You need a toy gun, I'll buy for you. You need to go to this place. You want ice cream, I give you. But the child from a poor home, the relationship he has around his relationship that is always sponsoring his negativity. Okay, you want ice cream, there's no money. You want sandals, there's no money. You want to change your shoe, we don't have the money. So that relationships alone, even as innocent as those children's mind might be, is already influencing their outlook on life. Ultimately, that's how powerful relationships can be, even on a child that is unassuming, that is innocent. Now imagine how influential that relationship can affect your life when it now has to do with somebody who you now have a an affection for, somebody who is now you are affectionately involved with, somebody who you are in love with, whether it be it your spouse, your what's it called now, your fiance, your fiancé, anyone. Entering the wrong relationship affects you more than you can imagine. See, there's this thing they say that every relationship can either add to you, subtract from you, divide you, or multiply you. Every relationship you have in your life is doing one. If you look at all your friends, all the kind of people you get involved with, they are doing one of these things to you. Either they are adding to you, or they are subtracting from you, or they are dividing you entirely, or they are multiplying you. Any of and let me say this: how much influence people have over you most of the time is dependent on your current state of mind, your current state of possibilities when it comes to the way you think, your mentality, your current state of mentality. Now, if I multiply 1 by 2, what does it give you? It gives 2. If I divide 1 by 1, it gives you 1. If I subtract 1 from 1, you have 0. But if I multiply 2 by 2, we have 4. If I subtract 2 by 1, we still have 1. So the every relationship influences you to the extent of your current state of mentality. But what ultimately forms that current state of your mentality most of the time is the kind of relationships you have. Now, let me give you a practical example because this example will make more sense to you now. I saw a video about 3 years ago of a particular lady boldly came out online and was saying things like, that she loves it when her boyfriend beats her, that she loves it a lot, that if she was now advising other ladies out there that if your boyfriend is not beating you, they don't love you. Let them not lie to you, that if they love you, they will have to beat you. That when they beat you, when your eyes is swollen, that's when you're able to, they are trying to correct you, they're trying to teach you something, so that's why they are beating you. So I saw that thing many years, 3 years ago, and I mean, I got some people got interested, and so when I began, the internet, the internet, you feel like you're living a private life, just go viral one day. You find out that what you did in your nursery school, somebody still has a record. So somebody began to dig up her records, how that she grew up in a family where her mom, her dad, everybody, her elder brothers, everybody was abusive. So she grew up seeing and understanding that love is the same with violence. When you beat somebody, it's a show of love. So inside her mind already, by default, by reason of the relationships she has had growing up, she had already by default assumed the perspective that love has to do with pain, that love must be painful for you to know that is really love. So those kind of people now, when somebody comes to her life who is not ready to beat her, she feels that you don't love her. When somebody comes to her life who is out to actually take care of her and do the best for her, she'll feel like you are still not doing anything because You're not beating me. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say here is relationships affect your life more than you can imagine. And when you let me now I'm explaining these things peripherally now. I'm explaining it from the outside in. By the time I began to begin to now go deeper on the reason why you should not marry the wrong person or enter a relationship with the wrong person, that's when you begin to understand what I'm actually saying and the weight of it. So I'm just explaining it peripherally, okay? Because the mistake I'm talking about here is marrying the wrong person. What I'm just explaining how relationship generally affects people's perspective of life and mentality of life, and how that by the time you now find out that if you venture or make the mistake to now take that negative effect of relationship and allow it to affect you as regards your marriage decisions or relationship decisions, you see that is much more terrible. You get what I'm trying to say? Okay, so relationships can change you a whole lot. It can twist your mind. I mean, on many levels. Okay, now when one of the many things, I've been in love before. I believe many of people here have been in love. I'm still in love. Okay, one of the many things that love does to you, is that it clouds your judgment. And in fact, one of the litmus tests of true love, is that it clouds your judgment. It makes you biased. You can't say you love me, for instance, and something that should hurt me is about to happen, and you don't tell me. Love clouds your judgment. And in a situation where you have now been involved in you are now loving somebody, or in a love relationship that is that that is built on the wrong mentality, is already disaster waiting to happen. In fact, disaster already happened, just waiting for manifest itself. Okay, see, when it comes to making decision of who to love and who to accept love from, one of the things that you must not do is to depend on your feelings alone. I read a book. I can't remember who wrote that book now, but the book was quoting a quote from a general, or something like general in the army or something like that. And the guy said that when it comes to relationships, open your mind to different opinions, but never let go of your core values. He mentioned that every human being in life should have what we call core values. These are the value systems guiding your life. And when somebody is coming or wants to come and add, subtract, multiply, or divide from your life, you first of all put that person put the person side to side with your core values. And when your core values does not tally with what the person is coming with, it gives you a sense of perception of where to put the person, the level of access to give the person. Now, I have people in my life that, if you want to see me, come to the office. I have some other people that, if you want to see me, come to my house. These are different. So there are some people that I rather just wait for me here. If I'm passing, let me just meet you and pass. These are different levels of relationship. Now, that does not mean that if I say come and meet me in the office, does not mean that I don't love you. It might just be because of maybe my schedule, my time. Okay. But I give people different levels of access based on the level of how I feel. You match up to my core values. I know what my core values are. I know the things that I cannot do regardless of who is watching. I've been in situations where I think I remember there was one time I was in a all my life I've always been hanging around with people older than me, kind of. So I was with a particular set of guys, and all, so they were just drinking and all. And obvious, I really don't have a problem if you like drinking, zero problems. However, but I don't drink, and nothing in this life will make me drink. So they were like, take one bottle now, take something. I say, no, no, don't worry, I'm fine. I don't take alcohol. Personal choice, I don't. And the guy said something that struck me. The guy said, so you mean, because they were like just a few of them, about four of them. So he now said, so if you are in a situation where all your guys, now let's say he was like 10 or 15, 20 people, where all of them are drinking. So that means that you just tell them that you're not drinking. I said, I've been in worse. I've been in worse, man. And I won't take it. There's nothing you say in this life. It's not, I don't know how to explain this. See, there's something called core values of life. Core value system are the things that form the fabrics of who you are. Who you are is your core values. Your core values is who you are. There are some things that people around me can hit their chest and say, if it's for Charles Okam, he will not do this. Go try. He will not. And that's who I am. That's the core fabric of my being. That's what makes me me. See, and if at the slightest surge of emotions you let go of your core values, what you are doing is that you are you are not being true to who you are. You are selling your core value for peanuts. If at the surge of any relationship you enter any, I know people that they enter the relationship and just because this person likes doing this kind of thing, they started doing it because they lack zero core values, no sense of mission of life, no sense of direction guiding the kind of decisions you make. You're making decisions simply because somebody else wants you to do something or wants you to behave in a certain way. When it comes to marriage, now we are going inside now. When it comes to the issue of marriage, one of the many mistakes I've seen people make is, like I said, getting married to people out of just because of the way they feel. And like I already told you, because love clouds your emotions, you can't just depend on your emotions for that kind of decision. That kind of decision can only stand based on core value, based on what your core values of life is. Because, see, scriptures say, can two work together except they agree? It did not say, can two work together except they love themselves or if they don't love themselves. He said, unless they agree, there must be an agreement that this is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing with my life. If you want us to go in this direction, this you also agree by default that this is what we are going, you, not me now, is going to be doing. So by the time we judge what you want to do with what I want to do, we're moving in the same direction. What keeps a relationship or what keeps a marriage at the end of the day, aside the glitterati of how the fine the lady is, how beautiful the lady is, how well built the man is, or how wealthy the man is, or how good the sexual intercourse in the marriage is happening. What determines the health of a marriage and the happiness of the marriage and the relationship at the end of the day is the core values of the two people involved. If the core values of the two people involved are not in alignment, trust me, sooner or later it will become a hell on earth. This is why some people, you will see some people who are on the other side of life. And when I mean other side of life now, this is not me being judgmental. You see people who the husband is a smoker, the wife is a smoker. The husband is a drug addict, the wife is a drug addict. And you see that they are living in harmony. When I mean harmony, I mean on the outside, they're happy. Like, and even on the inside, they're just happy. You see them, they enjoy their company. They are not prayer warriors. They are not what you would call morally upright, but they are actually enjoying their relationship or enjoying their marriage. Some people will look back and be like, why is it but me myself, I'm morally upright, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't live away, I don't live a wayward life, I don't go to club. But some, you will see husband and wife, they go to club and they come back home and they look happy, they live peacefully, much more peacefully than even people that are morally upright. The reason is very simple: can two work together except they agree? Both of them have agreed that this is our core value, this is our system of life, and they've accepted that core value. And because both core values align, they move together. Both core values align, they will live in peace and happiness. So if you see, this is very dirty. I don't know how to speak this thing the ways in my heart because I've seen. That's why you notice sometimes you see in a relationship, one person maybe, or maybe let's use marriage now. two of them got married. One was maybe a both of them maybe got married, with living a ras lifestyle. They like clubbing, they like the ras lifestyle. They just like the smoking, the drinking. They just love that kind of life. Then they get married. One of them now decides to, okay, I don't want this lifestyle anymore, or maybe a change. Begin to live a morally upright life and all of that, societally accepted kind of lifestyle. And before you know it, a marriage that has been very fine, for the past 15 years now begins to have issues. They start quarreling. Why? Because the core value is now different. What keeps any relationship in this life, relationship of marriage, romantic relationship, fiance, girlfriend, boyfriend, is core values. When choosing somebody who would be your life partner, or somebody you want to spend lifetime with, a share somebody you want to share your heart with, your relation, your love, your affection with, must be somebody who has the same core values as yourself. If not, sooner or later, trust me, you would have issues. So, as much as possible, every single time when it comes to making decisions of life and destiny, don't make it just because of the way you feel. Don't make it because of the butterflies in your tummy. Make that decision solely based on core values. When choosing people to partner with, people to choose, do business with, make that decision based on core values. And you rarely have problems, and whether it is a boss employee relationship, whether it's a staff employer relationship, you rarely have problems where you work closely with people who have the same core value as yourself. One of the many things you will notice, right, if you look closely at our company, when we've done several interviews in trying to get people to come work with us and all of that, and in no way we don't even put any form of pressure or try to say, put it out there that this is the kind of people we're looking for. But somehow I've noticed the kind of people at the end of the day end up coming to work with us. Most of the time you find out that by the time you check core values, it's the same. By the time you check core values, it's usually the same. And I can tell you that close that door well, please. Close that door well. Now, I can tell you that the reason why that is always so is because by default, we already have a certain level of value system that is working. So by default, even the way we talk, even our mannerisms, the way we dress, the way we do things, somehow is kind of automatically sieves out the kind of people that might not be people that we might work very well with. And it's not something, like I said, it's not something we are trying to be conscious about, trying to do. When you come for an interview, some of you maybe we have come for our interviews. I mean, we don't try to make you feel a certain way, but somehow at the end of the day, the people that end up making it in, you just find out that they behave in a certain way, they talk in a certain way. When you look at us, kind of we look alike in terms of the way we believe about life, the kind of value systems we have around ourselves. You understand? So it's very important when you're choosing a life partner, when you're choosing somebody to be in a relationship with, always make sure that the first thing that matches should not be the color of your dress. The first thing that will match should not be that you people have attending the same church, or attending the same mosque, or attending the same, have you're going to the gym together. All those things shouldn't matter. What should matter at the end of the day is, what is this person's core value? How does it suit with my own? How does it match? If it matches, trust me, every other thing happening after then is just is an overlap. Is an overlap of many good things. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So does that make sense? If it makes sense, let me know that it makes sense. Let me know that it makes sense. Type sense on the chat, on the comment section. If this makes sense, just type sense on the comment section. So let's move to number 7. Number 7. So if it makes sense, type sense on the comment section. Let me know that it makes sense. Okay. If it makes sense, let me know that it makes sense. All right. Okay. Good. Okay. I see some comments saying that it makes sense. All right. So let's go ahead. So that's number 6. Okay, so let's move to number seven. Number seven mistake of destiny that you must not make. Okay, so number seven is constantly disapproving yourself. Constantly disapproving yourself, or when you build a habit of constantly disapproving yourself, aka low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. Now, this is one of the worst mistakes that you can make as a young person growing up. Not working on your self-esteem, constantly disapproving yourself. When you see other people doing something that you know that you should be doing, you ask yourself questions like, why me? Who am I? Questions like, I mean, this is not meant for me. Statements like, others can do it, but not for my kind of people. I know somebody who, this was when I was on camp when I was on campus, one of my classmates. So we're doing then when all this Ponzi schemes, we are the in thing, the ultimate cycler, the those were, this was when MMM had come and gone. Then ultimate cycler, there's one against CUFM. Those kind of raw Peter to paper Ponzi kind of things. So the guy made a statement one day, because I was doing one, so I tried to like convince him, come and join this thing. The guy said that he knows himself, that if he puts money inside this thing, that day he put, that's the day the thing will crash. And guess what? I was able to convince the guy to finally give it a try. And guess what? He put the following day the thing crashed. Now, this excuse is actually out of the this is not a proper excuse to give, though. It's just that I didn't see anyone to suit this particular story now. Okay. Now, when you keep convincing yourself every time that the good things of life are not for you, constantly disapproving yourself, something you know that you can do, you just can't own up and say, I can do it. See, let me tell you one of the many things that shifted my life the most. And you won't believe if I tell you one of the many things that had impact on me the most as regards leadership, developing leadership ability. You won't just believe. Let me tell you how simple it was. When I was on campus, and when we moved from 100 level to 200 level, that's when we moved to our permanent campus, which was in Newi, Anambra at the time. So we moved to the place I was staying was a lodge, was a new lodge. It was just newly built. So, and I was a physical therapist, student, and most of the people that were in that lodge were all MBBS students. They were all doing medicine and surgery while I was doing medical physical therapist. Okay, so, and if you know anything about medical school, MBBS students usually have this they are just kind of pompous. You get what I mean? So MBBS students are usually those kind of, they feel like, now we get the campus. All of you are peripheral, medical people and all of that. But however, so we had a meeting in the lodge one night, because we're all new people. All of us, most of us were like 200 level, 300 level. And they wanted, okay, somebody should be a lodge president. And I don't even know, sincerely speaking, that was my first experience as a leader of some sort. Somehow, nobody wanted to be the lodge president. Everybody was kind of, everybody wanted to, just read and pass. Nobody wanted to waste time running around, pumping water for people, making sure that the lodge is clean, collecting dues, arranging, for meetings and all of that. Nobody had that time. So for some reasons, I said, okay, nobody is willing to do this thing. I'll be the Lord's. I volunteered myself. Nobody voted me. I raised my hand. I voted myself by myself. That's the only election I saw that was uncontested in my life. I raised up my hand. I said, me, I want to be Lord's president. And everybody voted me. But you won't believe, in my 4 years living in that lodge, being the president of that lodge, I learned so much from leadership, more than any book I had read in my life would have taught me. It was a very simple experience, so but my experience being the leader of that lodge, experiencing what it means to sincerely want to help people and they don't appreciate your help, sincerely want to go out your way and do things to make everybody's life better, and they will not agree that you want to make their life better. That hands-on experience taught me a whole lot. It taught me a whole lot because sometimes you see, okay, maybe there's no water. Sometimes I even use my money, buy fuel, and pump water, and somebody will come and tell you that the water is not rushing in their own room. You know those kind of experience. You'll be like, bro, I just volunteered for this. So nobody, it's not like you chose me. You're not paying me. I'm just doing it, using my heart to do it well because that's the right thing to do. You know what I'm trying to say? But that experience kind of shifted me. It helped me to see leadership from a different perspective, and it shapes my entire life from there. When it comes to leadership, I'm a person right now. At any time I sense any form of disorderliness, trust me, I'm stepping in. And it's not because I want to do it. It's not because I'm trying to show myself. It's simply because it has become who I am. I've become somebody. Low self-esteem kind of disappeared because I now began to see that what makes somebody's life valuable most of the time is your sense of satisfaction that you get from doing something that you know that other people will benefit from, whether they like it or not, whether they appreciate you for it or not. See, I've seen people who constantly disapprove themselves, and I see what their life turns out. Something that you know that you this is something you can do. This is something you can really do. Why are you not doing it? Simply because they have low self-esteem. Self-esteem is like a price tag you put on yourself. And I can tell you this, the world will always price you based on your price tag. If you're always wearing a low price tag, that's how people always price you. If you're constantly disapproving yourself, nobody in this life will approve you. I remember one experience one time, one time that when I was younger, my uncle stays in Abuja here. So when I was in secondary school, sometimes during the holidays, I come to Abuja to come and spend the holidays with him and my cousin, which was the same age with me. So I remember one day we went to supermarket here in Abuja. Then we were like maybe 13, 14 years old boys then, and went to a particular supermarket, and then they had a particular wine section there, and my cousin just called me one day that I should come and see. And there were plenty wines there, oh, plenty. It was just a long one section. But there was one bottle, it was a little bit taller than the normal bottles. And it had a price tag on it. The neck of that price tag, what was written on it was 2M. Now, this was the first time in my entire life to even imagine that there was a drink that they could sell for 2 million. And like, it took me a while. But guess what happened? When I saw that price tag, the kind of carefulness, and kind of composure that entered my body whenever, because this is a supermarket, we usually go like almost like maybe every week, maybe once every week, and you usually pass that wine session going to buy other things. The kind of carefulness and composure that comes to my heart and to my life anytime I'm passing that wine session, knowing that this one is 2 million. If you do mistake and your leg kind of scratch this bottle, nobody will give you 2 million. Either you work for them for 5 years to recover that money, or you understand? But I had a lot of composure, knowing fully well that, I mean, this wine is that costly. Why was I able to have that composure and didn't have that composure other other sessions in the supermarket? It was very simple, because I know that the price tag is high here. So you don't dare behave anyhow around this drink. You can waste your life just because you broke this bottle. You get what I'm trying to say? So The reason why people keep, when you see people keep treating you in a certain way, somebody comes today and they insult you. Tomorrow again, somebody else comes and gives you the same insult. Somebody comes again, gives you the same similar insult in a different language. Sometimes the problem is not them. Look at yourself. You're simply pricing yourself very low. I saw a video. I don't want I should use this video as a sample now, but however, it might be a bit sensitive. Let me not use that video. But I saw, there's no how I can disguise it now. I wanted to give a particular sample now. It's a viral happening that's currently going. I don't know. I don't. That example would have hit home, but it is a bit sensitive. Okay, so I wouldn't use that. Okay, but especially if you're a lady, how people price you is usually because of the level of price tag, the you have given to yourself. When you price yourself cheap, most people they relate to you cheaply. You get what I'm trying to say? I've seen this sample I want to give now is even the one coming to my head now is also sensitive, especially for the ladies, because I mean, see, when you go to the market to buy foodstuff, how do you know when you've entered the foodstuff line, the line where they are selling foodstuff? Very simple. You begin to see foodstuffs outside. You begin to see tomato. You begin to see pepper. You begin to see onions outside. You can't go to a store where they are selling foodstuffs inside and you're seeing cosmetics outside. You can't be advertising cosmetics outside and selling foodstuffs inside. It's from what you are seeing you advertising outside that we can now use to say, okay, there is more inside. Let me go inside and even see what you have inside. Every single time you are doing video, all you're seeing, all you're showing us is either your bum, you're showing us your breasts, you're showing us your curves. That is an indication that that's probably all you have on the inside. Now, this also goes same for the guys. Let me not become misogynist or whatever you guys call it now. Every time you're doing video as a guy, everything you're showing is so either you're doing your beards like this, licking your lips up and down like a goat. It tells a lot about you. I've never for once come to terms with guys that do those kind of videos. I just feel like there's something wrong somewhere, because if you have serious value on the inside, that will be what you want to always sell. When somebody meets you firsthand, one of the first thing you want to show the person is the stuff you have on the inside. And if you're already peripherally, all you are showing is already your breast, your curves and all of that, it means that that's the only thing you actually have to offer. There is no two. See, scripture said that this was the statement that the chairman of the wedding made. He said, every man, every groom puts out the bad wine first. And when people are drunk, then puts out the good wine first. And when people are drunk, that's when they now bring out the bad wine. If every single time what you are showing us is the only things you have on your body, there is nothing serious that you can tell us that is inside. There is no proof, there's nothing inside. I don't know how to say this so that it doesn't it will hurt you, but it will help you. Most of the things I'm telling you here, I'm trying not to be sentimental about it, because at the end of the day, I need to help you. That's the purpose of this mentorship. I'm here to help. I'm not here to make you feel good. Okay. And if anyway what I'm saying is paining you, that means it's you I'm talking to. It's you are the one I'm talking to. You understand? So please, as much as possible, price yourself well. Put a put correct price tag on yourself. Don't go cheap. Don't And when I mean don't go cheap now, because somebody came out, a particular very silly lady came out one time. sometime I think it was last year now, and said that, for you to get, to her, you have to spend 15 million. And I'm like, so that's really what all you are worth? I mean, 15 million. Do you know how many 16, 14, 12-year-old boys in this world that have 15 million? That's how, see, when I mean put a price tag on yourself, I don't mean a monetary price tag. I mean a price tag as regards your mental level. People should be able, there are some people that shouldn't have mind to approach you just because they are not thinking in a certain frequency. It's not a matter of who has money. Somebody, and you know that, oh dear, low self-esteem is terrible. I'm telling you. And you know the worst part? That particular lady, I don't know, that particular lady, inside her mind, like inside, really inside her mind, that price tag was very high. Do you know how many 12-year-olds around the world, 13-year-old that can give you that money? So that means that anybody that can afford that kind of money, you are that cheap. It's very silly. And so, and the reason why that is low self-esteem trying to masquerade itself as if it's expensive is because by default, probabilities are that probably in your entire life you've not seen that kind of money. So if you like is a big money. I saw somebody put on his status one time that I can't remember how they put it now, but he put it in pigeon kind of. But he said that some ladies, you will go out with them and buy food for them, and they feel like they've scammed you because you bought food for them, not knowing that this is who you are by default. There's no scam there. But the low self-esteem from the lady side would make her feel like I've scammed this guy simply because you spent maybe 40, 50,000 naira buying food for them. See, low self-esteem is terrible. Never for one. See, fight anything that looks like low self-esteem in your life, because you will always put the wrong price tags on yourself. Always, you will misprice yourself, and people will start pricing you from that price tag. There's no, if I go to the market now maybe to buy a shoe, and they tell me, okay, this shoe is 100,000. I can't say, give me 7.5 now. Will you? No, it doesn't make sense. If they tell you 100,000, maybe you start pricing from, okay, give me 75. Okay, give me 80. Give me 85. Okay, let's do it at 90. So it's the price tag you put on yourself. That's how people price you. So the way you talk, your mannerisms of life, the people you go out with, the places you hang out with, is all an entirety of what your price tag of life is. And it will tell people how to judge you, how they speak to you, how they relate to you. See, let me tell you, it's not every lady out there that is molestable by guys. I hope you know that some ladies that even the fiercest of guys, they fear them also. And not because they have muscle, not because they are rigid, simply because they know that this one is not my class. That's simple. This person is not my level. And it's not because I don't have the money, simply because I can't relate with this person at the level, the frequency of their thinking. Do not disapprove yourself. Develop healthy self-esteem. It will help you a lot. Okay. So that said, type esteem on the chat, on the comment section. Type esteem on the comment section. Let's move to mistake number 8. Hey, this one now is the one. This number 8 is dear to my heart. I'm telling you. This number 8, you will love it. You will love this number 8 mistake now, because many of you are making it in the guise of being being good people. Okay. So number 8 mistake, type esteem. Type esteem. If what I'm sharing so far is making sense, type esteem on the comment section. Esteem. Type that on the comment section. Let's go. Okay. So number eight mistake that you must not make in this life is underestimating the power of finances. Hey, yeah. Underestimating the power of finances in your life, the role of money. You can put AKA underestimating the role of money in your life. Ha! I pray that I explain this thing very well. See, let me tell you the truth. I've met poor people in my life, and I've also met rich people. And I can tell you, every single day of my life, every single day of that I wake up on this earth and sleep in the evening, I discover one extra reason why I must not be poor. That is this year alone. Today now is we're already half of the year. Half of the year is that's 160 something days. Abi? Sorry, 180 something days. Okay, 170, let's say 79 or so. Okay, because there are 356 days in a week. So give or take maybe 178 days, right? Something like that. 178 days of this year, I've discovered over 100, in fact, over 200 reasons why I must not be poor in this life. Every day I discover one. Every day I discover one extra. Just driving around the road, just looking at how people are living their life, just looking at the things that the lack of money is doing to people. Every day is a new reason. Every day I see why nothing. There's no reason reasonable in this life that you should not take your finances seriously, and taking it seriously as early as possible. I heard a story sometime last so when I was in 200 level, 300 level, so that really changed. I mean, oh boy, this man was married to a lady. This is a new marriage, marriage that was less than 5 years old, and all of a sudden the guy fell sick, thoroughly sick to the point that he felt like he was going to die. Now, the lady was working in a particular company where the boss, this is a true life story. The boss was trying to make advances on her, always making advance, trying to, get her to sleep with him. And the girl is always telling her that, I'm married. Stop. I mean, why are you disturbing me, trying to threaten me, with this job? I'm married and all of that. And now the husband was sick to the point that he was dying. Now she went to the boss and told the boss that, please, my husband is in hospital and he's on the verge of dying. Please give me an advance payment. Give me an advance payment. You can pay me for 6 months and I will work for that 6 months for free and all of that. And guess what? The boss said, you know what to do. If you want this thing, you have to sleep with me. This lady, being a true somebody who loves the husband, went to the husband and asked the husband, told the husband what the boss said, that this is what my boss is saying, that if you need this money to go through this surgery, that I have to sleep with him. And at first the husband said no, that can happen. When he came to a point that it was sure, confirmed by the doctor, that you are going to die if we don't do this surgery and if you don't bring the money for the surgery, he told the wife, you can go ahead. This lady went, slept with her boss, and got the money that she wanted for the surgery. They did the surgery, it was successful, but the marriage scattered because the man couldn't bear the fact that my wife had slept with somebody else. The wife herself also couldn't come to terms with the fact, come to peace with herself anymore, having done that. And at the end of the day, the marriage ended up dividing. They went their separate ways with a scar in their life that nothing in this life would ever erase that scar. No, I don't think there's any amount of therapy except God just intervenes somehow. There's no amount of therapy, especially on that woman's side. Ah, God, I heard that story. I literally shed tears. This time I'm telling you the true life story. See, if you don't take the issue of money in your life seriously, time will come where you can bend anything bendable just to make money. you can bend your core values, turn it upside down. See, this thing they say money changes people. Let me tell you, many of you here, you really don't, you don't know your real you yet. I'm telling you the truth. You see those two extremes. Of course, there's an argument that money makes you more of what you are. I agree with that too. But however, we can't we can't dispose the impact of whether excessively poor or excessively rich. We can't discount the effect that that can have on your life and your lifestyle and on the kind of decisions you make. So this instance I gave you now, for instance, like I said, this is a scar that they'll most likely bear their entire life. God willing, sometime maybe something happen. I don't know that made it. I mean, I don't know what they are doing with their life right now. But when I heard the story, they were already divorced. Okay, because the marriage just couldn't continue. And what happened? Very simple. It was just money, just money. If that the day that lady and that guy was the day they were dancing to the altar, happy, the woman, I can imagine her on her white robe with her long, maybe like five people holding the rope. If they tell her that one day, because of money, you are going to sleep with another man just to help your husband survive, I don't think ever she would ever believe that that would ever be her possibility. The man that day would have come with a very clean black suit with clean stockings, very energetic. If they would have told him that because of lack of money, that you will not be able to source your bill, and this wife that you are, if somebody mistakenly touched the wife anyhow that day, he would have probably killed the person. You understand? If somebody ever hinted or told him that somebody touched your wife somehow that day, that guy would have killed somebody. But this is the same person few years down the line, marriage that was less than 5 years down the line, would allow this same wife that he paid full bride price for and give her consent to go and sleep with another man because of money. If you don't take the issue of money very serious in your life, and I'm not saying this now in order to spur greed in you or to spur you to go and do the wrong things to make money. I'm saying this so that you are in proper understanding of how important, you have proper understanding of how important money is not a topic to disguise, to pretend that you don't, especially those that are Christians. I've seen poor Christians. I've also seen poor Muslims. I've seen poor atheists. Money does not respect whatever your religion is. If you don't have it, it will mess you up big time. As much as possible, legally speaking, make money. As much as you possibly can, legally speaking, please take the issue of money and your finances very serious. Because if you don't, trust me, life will somehow force you to bend your rules, to bend your esteem, to bend your core values in order to be able to just make a little money. As much as possible, please take your finances serious. Now, let me give you a little insight. Sorry, guys, let me just take 30 minutes, 30 seconds water break. Guys, take money serious. Though. I'm telling you the truth. Take the issue of money serious. Take the issue of money serious. Especially if you're a young person, you're on campus, or maybe you're just coming out from campus, or maybe you're just starting in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. Have a map of life of how you'll be able to make money and sustain the money. There's one of my friends that used to say something on his status. He always used to say, make sure your money I mean, he's talking to his rich friends, obviously. Now make sure your money does not finish, oh, that the world does not forgive people who their money has finished. The world does not forgive people who their money has finished. It's better that you don't even touch money at all than that you touched money and at some point in your life you don't have it again. So as much as possible, when you're planning your life, make sure that you include your finances in that plan. What kind of work are you going to do? What kind of money? Even when choosing an industry to play a part in, or participate in, or work in, make sure it's an industry that can make you enough money for you to have enough for yourself, and have enough to also give people around you and contribute positively to the world. Because there are some industries that there is only a maximum amount of money that it can actually give you, and there's a level you can, that's the highest level you can. I mean, there's already a, even before you started working, there's already a max amount you can make, just because you're in that particular industry. So when choosing an industry, make sure that the possibilities of growth is infinite. infinite Infinite possibilities of growth. Don't choose an industry where the highest you can make ever is 20 million in a month, or 100 million in a month. That means that forever and ever, that's your cap. Or an industry where the highest you can make is 200,000. I always advise my friends who are maybe artisans, painters, plumbers, and the likes of it. I always tell them, as much as possible, at a point in your life, you should stop exchanging your time for money. At a point in your life, the point of exchange should be value for money, not time for money. If every time you get money is when you exchange time for it, you will not grow, you will not go far. Every time of your life, try to, or if you're working in an organization where the only thing they are paying you for is time, they are cheating you there. Look for an organization where you can, the more value you're bringing, the higher the possibility that you make more money. The higher the value you're bringing, the pay matches it. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't box yourself and you're always exchanging time for money, time for money. You will not go far. There is a limit to how much you can go in life when you're always, because you only have 24 hours a day. You can't give more than 24 hours. No matter how well do you are, you can't buy more time. You can't buy one single second. That's why they say time is money. It is that expensive. Time is that expensive that nobody in this life can afford one extra second of it. That's how expensive time is. So if the only thing you're always giving out in exchange for money is time, you will die a poor man. I promise you. At the end of your days, you'll find out that there's there's a lot you would have done that you did not do. So as much as possible, get to a point where you exchange value for money, where you can increase value and the money increases by default. When you can increase value and the money also matches that increase. So if you're in an organization where it's just only time, you're getting paid for only time, you're getting paid for only time, then there's a problem. There's really a problem. Unless you've made up in your mind in your life that you will only be at a certain level. But at some point, and I believe that if you're working in any organization where you're working with somebody who is visionary, somebody, any company that is visionary always has a system that allows you to grow with more value. You get what I'm trying to say? A system that affords you opportunity to grow when your value also grows. I tell my staff this every time. I tell them straight up, salary won't make you rich. You won't become a wealthy person. You can become rich, oh, but we're talking about wealth now. Wealth is when even if you are not working, even if you are not working, the work you have done before or the work other people are doing on your behalf is making you money. That's when you become wealthy. Rich means that you have to work to make the more money. If you want more money, you work more. But wealth now means that you are able to make money with or without working. The work you have done in the past, or the work somebody else is doing, or the work that people are now doing under you, is now making sure that you are making more money. Then that's when we say that you are, you are maximizing you are maximizing yourself and your value when it comes to making money. You know what I'm saying? So as much as possible, take your finances serious. If you need to read books, read books. I've seen people who make very terrible financial mistakes, and by the time you ask them, why didn't you read this book, or why didn't you learn this thing about money, they'll tell you that how many books did Tedela read, how many books did Dangote read. And sometimes I look at them and I just pity people who talk like that. I pity them, because these people you're saying, how many books are they reading? How many books that? Do you know the amount of research that goes into every single business they do? Research being done by hundreds of people who are reading that book that you're not reading. Now that you don't have the money to employ anybody to do research for you, And you're opening your dirty mouth to make that kind of statement, that how many books that has the Dangote read to become Dangote? How many books did he read? You are just being silly. I promise you, you are being highly, very, very silly if you're the kind of person that is making that kind of statement. Do you know the amount of research work that my friend works in a research firm? I would have called the name of the company, but I don't want to call it. He works in a research firm, and what his firm does is very simple. If they want to start a business, for instance, in Kenya, they send people who go there and gather data. I mean, years of decades of data, which business, how they have a data of how many kinds of similar businesses that have started in that country, in that Kenya, for the past 50 years. How many of them started and failed? Who are the people that started it, and why did they fail? How much were they selling? Who were they selling to? Who were their clients? And with that data, when they now enter that country, they are sure that it will work. It's not guesswork. So they have the money to pay the people that read the book and do the research. You don't have the money, and you open your mouth to say that what is it by reading books? You die a poor man. Oh. I'm telling you the truth. You so die a poor man. And this is not me threatening you. I'm not sorry if it sounds like a threat, but see, wealth thrives on knowledge. Wealth thrives on knowledge. Wealth thrives on knowledge. The more you know, the more you can become. Wealth is a I was teaching, I did a training for my staff on I think it was on Monday now. I told them that wealth is attracted. It's not nobody really makes wealth. Nobody really, this is, they say wealth creation. In reality, there's really nothing like wealth creation. What we have is wealth attraction. You become wealthy first, then you now begin to have the wealth. It is until you have learned or known enough to now begin to attract that level of wealth. There's still a ceiling to what you can accomplish. So if you can read, please read. Buy books on money and read them. I know how much this thing changed my life. I'm telling you the truth. As at when I was a 400 level student, I was telling my classmates, maybe one or two of them might be here, would tell you that I was telling them that I will not practice. And I was saying it confidently, not because I knew that there was a job waiting for me out there, or there was something else I knew I was going to do. With everything I knew, I had read on money, I just knew that nobody in this life will be able to pay me for the kind of value that I'm looking for. I already knew that I was going to create wealth for myself through value, nothing else, not by skill, but by value. So as see, God, I don't know how to say it enough, and with the kind of time we have now. So let's move, guys. Let's move. So if this makes sense, type wealth on the comment section. If this makes sense, type wealth on the comment section. If this makes sense, let's move to number 9 now. Number nine. My mistake. We need to round up in the next 10 minutes. We need to round up in 10 minutes. So if what I'm saying makes sense, type wealth on the comment section. Type wealth. Type it on the comment section if it makes sense. So this is the number 9. Number 9 is not taking education seriously. Hey, I know this one will shake tables now. See, let me tell you, school is not scam. It is you that went to school as a scam. See, school is not scam. It is you that went to school as a scam. When you say the school na scam, is not true. It is the reason why people make that kind of statement is because they tend to misunderstand or tend to misplace academics with education. Academics trains you to be employed. Education trains you to employ. Academics trains you to be able to work in a system. Education trains you to create your own system. These are two different mindsets. If you are here and the only thing, if you are here and the only thing you are able to gain from being in school is that you came out with a certificate, you cheated yourself. Let me make those statements again. Academics prepares you to be employed. Education prepares you to employ. Academics helps you to work in a system, but education prepares you to create the system. Education simply means that you are improving your mind, improving your attitude, outlook, mannerisms, and belief systems of life. Any day you stop investing in these things I mentioned, your mannerisms, your attitude, your mindset, your mentality, your belief system of life, you have stopped educating yourself, regardless of how many books you are reading. You see that day. Let me tell you, let me give you a practical example. I already told you guys last week that when I was on campus, I was reading sometimes two books every week. And I kid you not, I lie you not. In a year, I finished nothing less than at least 50, 55, 60 books. By the time I was finishing school, from 100 level to 500 level, I read over 250 books on business, finance, relationship, marriage, money, leadership, spirituality, every topic that interested me, I read. And there came a time in my life where I was only now getting knowledge. There was no education behind it. I'm trying to explain that you can be reading but not educating yourself. I made a post on Facebook, just that Facebook has banned my personal account. If not, I would have maybe harvested that post and maybe shared it with you guys on the WhatsApp group after now. I made a post then that I have stopped reading. I'm no longer reading any book again because it came to my life where I knew a lot. If you stay with me, bro, hey, Jesus, then my friends will tell you, if you spend 30 minutes with me, you will live, even till now, it still happens to you now. If you spend time with me long enough, you will get tired of small life. People around me will tell you, if you spend time with me long enough, if you stay around me long enough, you will just get tired of mediocrity. You will just hate small life. You will hate smallness. You will hate poverty. You will just dislike. That is a gifting, and at the same time, is because I've created a culture of a certain level of energy around me. When you're with me, you will just not like smallness. I've seen people that come around me, and even them don't know their life is changing. I see it. Sometimes I just look back and be like, I know this guy before. But even him does not know that something is changing around their life. Most times it's because of the kind of energy I've created around myself. And it came to a point I was reading, but there was no education because it was more of I wanted more knowledge. I wanted to know more. And if you know me, I have insatiable taste for knowledge. And one thing you need to understand about knowledge is that knowledge is addictive. The more you know, the more you want to know. The more I read about marriage, the more I felt like I didn't know more. And I wanted to know more. The more I read about business, the more I felt like I didn't know much about business, and I want to know more. So it was a matter of conquering the next book, conquering the next knowledge, conquering the next author, finishing that next book. It was more of I was just now taking sorting the target to finish this book. Sometimes I'll buy sometimes to finish one book, I'll buy two more. That motivation to start reading the two I bought will make me to finish the one that's been wasting my time. So anytime I buy a new book, I by force I finish the one I'm reading because I want to enter, because I can't wait to start learning new things in the next one. So it came to a point where it was just about getting I was no longer educating myself. Remember, I said that educating is is an intentional investment into the way you think, your belief system, the kind of things that you allow around you. That's education. I know people who have not gone to school a day in school, but they are highly educated. I also know people who have PhDs that are so dumb. People that have PhD that when you relate with them, you're wondering, how does this one even have a PhD? How did he get it? Academics is not the same as education. As a young person, don't play with your education. Don't play with the intentionality that comes with you trying to know more about life, learn more about yourself. PK I can't give that particular explanation how PK says it, but he says that education is learning a lot in it, learning. If I'm trying to paraphrase now the way PK says it. I don't even know PK. Olakunle Shorion. I believe you guys should know him. All right. So he says that education is is exposing your mind enough to be able to um ask questions about, like, there's a way he puts it that just makes a lot of sense. You understand? An educated person is a person who asks questions. Why are these people doing these things like this? Why are people from this side always poor? There's some of you that you already have masters, you have PhD, but something as little as giving us insight why the people in your village always end up poor. No matter the kind of money they make in their life, they still end up poor. Some of you have not educated yourself enough to ask questions like that. Why are my people poor? Because the same thing you are doing now is the same thing that is keeping every other person in that your village poor. But you have PhD, you have masters, and you have not you've not educated yourself enough to ask those kind of valid questions. Why is it that we are five in my family, all of us have PhD, and yet nobody is married? Why is it that we are this number in our family, and yet nobody is achieving this certain level of life? Why is it that my mother will make money at this level and then always lose it? Why is it that I always have near success syndrome? Those are the things that education can do for you. Educating your mind is exposing your mind enough to begin to ask valid questions. There was a time in my life where I made up my mind. Nobody in this my family can advise me. The only person that could advise me was late, which was my father. It came to a point in my life. I looked at my life and I said, no, 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 no. I can't keep taking advices from people who their life is not inspiring, no matter who the person is. There was a time I looked my mother in the eyes, and trust me, this is not being disrespectful. And I told her, when I made this statement to her, I didn't have a dime, not like I was rich. I told her, when it comes to money, mommy, you can't advise me. I know more about money than you, because I've seen what you do with money, and you are not using it well. So you can't tell me what to do with money. You get what I'm trying to say? Wait, see, education brings you to that point where you begin to question things and begin to seek answers for those things. Why is it that you marriages from your village are always failing? Why is it that nobody starts school and finishes? Why are your people addicted? Why is everybody in my family drinking? That's the kind of thing that education will do for you, because you've exposed your mind to the point where you don't just accept everything because it's a societal standard. If everything you're still doing in your life is just a result of societal standard, that's the way my people do, that's the way everybody in my family behaves, and you are still behaving like that, trust me, you are not educated. It came to a point in my life I said, no, nobody when it comes to money, you people cannot advise me anymore. I know the kind of advices I got when I was in school. I had 1,000 ideas of how to make money. Anytime I shared that idea with my relative, especially my mom, you say, no, don't worry, just finish school, don't do any business. And she was saying innocently, so this is not me of course, my mother loves me so much, so she didn't want me to maybe start doing business and maybe get distracted from school. It was a good advice, but not good for me. I wish I started business from school. And she was, I had enough money in school. I was given in school then. At least I had access to nothing less than 40,000-50,000 every month. And I mean, we're talking like 2013, 2014, 2015, 16 to 2018 when I graduated from school. That was big money. 50,000 as a student, bro. I can spend 1,005 or so relative every day. That's money. This was when you can use 300 naira to eat food with 2 meat or 3 meat. You understand? With 300 naira. So I was a big boy. You get what I'm trying to say? So she was not trying to say it to hurt me. But the fact that there are some things I would have learned that I did not learn simply because she was too over pampering. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, so it came to a point where I was like, no, 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 you guys, I mean, everybody, just keep your advice for now. Now I want to advise myself. I'm my own best advisor. The only person that would have told me anything about money and I'll believe was my dad, because he made a lot of it and he's late. So anybody can advise me, man, should be somebody who has that money. I can remember one time I practically adopted Donald Trump as my father. There was a time in my life I practically adopted Bishop Oyedepo as my father. I say no, anything this man is saying about money, I believe it because he has it. Then anytime I'm reading Donald, this was when even before he even started, having intentions about coming out for the presidency and all of that. I will read this book. I'm like, this guy knows something. He's doing something I want to be doing. Whatever this guy knows, this is the person that can advise me about money. I remember when I read the book of Dangote's Secrets to Wealth. I think that book, I even saw it recently on one book stand. I still have it. 10 secrets or something. Somebody wrote the book on Dangote. I think he spent time with Dangote or something like that. And I'm like, bro, this is the kind of people I want to be following. These are the people that can tell me something about money I'll believe, not somebody who doesn't have it and they're advising you. You are taking advices from broke people when it comes to money. You're wasting your time, I promise you. Only people that can advise you when it comes to money are people that really have it. This is not something to be sentimental about. Love your parents as much as you can, but don't allow them to advise you to do the wrong thing, or don't allow them to advise you into poverty. Some advices are good, but they are not good for you. They are not good for your finances. The only thing those kind of advices can do for you is to waste your time. And at the end of the day, waste your life. You get what I'm saying? So, as much as possible, take education seriously. Come to that point where you become self-aware that number one, you have things that are supposed to work for you by default. You begin to get in touch with your strengths, your natural talents, your natural giftings. I know the things that are my natural giftings. By default, I'm a communicator. That's who I am. If I That's my greatest expression. Anytime I'm talking, I'm manifesting my highest self. As I'm speaking now, it's just that I'm watching time. So the time is being under pressure. But we can, if this was one-on-one and we take time aside, I can speak to you guys for 12 hours. And what to say won't lack. And trust me, you will enjoy it. Because this is my highest expression. I can't suppress it under any other skill. Yes, I'm a good trader. Yes, I'm a good businessman, but I can't shy away from the fact that this is the highest expression of myself. Beyond any amount of money. There's no amount of money I make in this world that'll make me not to stop talking. I will keep talking. I will keep talking. So take education seriously. All right. Education exposes your mind. It exposes you to yourself. It exposes you the possibilities available to you, and that is when you begin to express your highest level of self, your highest expression as a human being. So that is what education does for you. All right. Finally, number 10. Number 10. Type education on the comment section if this is making sense. Type education on the comment section. Education. Type it on the comment section if what I'm saying is making sense. So let's move to number 10. God, this is number 10. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This number 10. It's going to come heavy on many of you, but then it's to help you. All right. Finally, number 10 mistake that you must not make, especially as a young person, is taking, what's my caps lock? Okay. Taking spirituality casually. Now, one of the many one of the highest level of deceptions that I've seen people express in my little years of existence is the delusion that there's nothing spiritual about life. when you see people take spirituality or issues of spirituality lightly, most of the time, unknown to them, you see people, they will tell you they are woke. We are woke, we are woke people. We don't believe in all this stuff. See, let me tell you, if you're a science person, or if you in any way understand science, science alone is enough to convince you that there's actually a God. And that God is truly the all wise God. I'm a thank God. One of the many reasons I thank God every day is that He allowed me to pass through a medical school. So I was able to learn a lot about the human body, learn a lot about the human body, how the human body works. The fact that you are even seeing me, hearing what I'm saying, if you know the amount of cells, the amount of neurons, the amount of neurotransmitters, the speed at which these neurotransmitters are passing information through and fro as you're listening to me, thinking about what I'm saying, reasoning what I'm saying, that's enough. That is enough to make you marvel at the fact that there is actually a God somewhere. Now, let me tell you something. I remember one of the days I had what you call an epiphany when it comes to understanding how spiritual life is and how important spiritual things are. I went. We're having it. This was in 200 level. We're teaching us about human sight, and the lecturer then mentioned something. That there are structures on your eye that's called the cones and the rods. And when you enter a dark room, for instance, if you enter a dark room, maybe just move from light to darkness, you notice that at with small time, your eye begins to adjust. When you enter the room, just you move from light to darkness, everywhere is just black. But by the time you spend a few seconds, your eye begin to just see outlines of what is inside the room. You might not see the color, but then you're able to see, okay, there's a bag there, there's a wardrobe here, there's a door here, there are shoes in my front. You might not be able to see them. And the guy was telling us that it's because the rods in your eye are beginning to, the cones, sorry, in your eye are beginning to, get replaced by the rods in your eye. And that when you now come out of that dark room, the cones and the rods begin to change place again in order for you to be able to see bright lights and see it clearly and all of that. And I remember going home that day and came for night class and then went back home. Now came back middle of the night. No, when you're reading in school now, then I came back around 11, 12 or so. And I remember I came back, there was light, but my room, the light was off. And I turned on the light. And then exactly what they taught in class just now happened, where when I came in, everywhere was dark. Then when I, on the lights, my eyes just, it was bright at first. Then at some point, my eye just adjusted. I remember that day, and I kind of started thinking, what if one day, what if one day the cones or the rods on my eye decides that I don't want to come out today, or I don't want to walk today. It made me to see how easy it is for somebody's life to become entirely different. And if that happens, obviously that means you're blind. That's what I'm trying to say. I saw, because how they explain the whole biology to us, how they explained the whole thing, how it works. I saw how delicate and how like this life can change. Something as little as those cones and rods in your eye. Just decide that today I don't want to walk. I'm not coming out. You're blind, literally, just like that. Just because just these little things that you can't even see. Those things you see when when somebody slaps you, they say you are seeing star. Those things you are seeing, those are cones and rods in your eye. And just one day they decide, I'm not coming out today. You're blind, just like that. It made me, I just began to see how sensitive life can be and how sensitive life can change. And how that it is pure foolishness for somebody to wake up and say that, make statements like that there is no God. Because tell me how, tell me why. The things that sustain the human life work on its own without any external support. See, I remember when we started learning about the heart, how the heart has, different kind of, has different rhythms. um how the heart, there's a part of it, I can't remember the part of that heart now, sinoatrial node or whatever it is now. Sorry guys, my knowledge of this thing is bailing me. It's how many years now? This 7 years after school now, so I'm trying to remember some of those things. But they mentioned that the heart by itself generates a level of electricity. Those electricity is what keeps you alive. So as your heart is pumping, I hope you know it's not the blood that's pumping the heart. The heart has a part of it. The human heart has a part of. I can. Is this sinoatrial node now? Or Jesus Christ me. Somebody should help me. So a medical person here should help me with that particular that generates the electricity. And I'm like, this is the same electricity that somebody wake up one day and told you that he discovered somewhere, and they are now using it to pass wires all over the place. This is something that is already inbuilt in human heart. What if one day the heart decides to generate high current, a higher current that it was supposed to generate? What do you think will happen to you? See, the fact that the human life has a design tells you that there's a designer. Never take spirituality lightly. Life is deeply spiritual. I tell you this as somebody who has experienced it on both sides. Life is highly spiritual, highly spiritual. And if you take life on face value, on just by SA notes, I'm correct now. Ah, oh, these people know what I'm saying. Somebody said sign the atrial node. I haven't called it complete. Ah, I was one of the best students in my class. I was one of the best students in my class. Just so you people can know. Okay, so yes or notes. What if one day it decides to generate more electricity more than it planned to, more than it's supposed to? That's the day your own is gone, just like that. So once you understand only science, scriptures also tells us that the heavens and the environment all point us, give us. I can't remember how the scripture puts it now. That they all give us reasons to magnify and glorify the name of the Lord. Life is deeply spiritual, I promise you. And peacemaker, that's the word I was looking for. Peacemaker, that's it. Ndukwe Samuel has got what I had in mind. The pacemaker, yes, that's it. So when you see that life has your life, human life alone has a design, tells you there's a designer, and that designer is a spiritual being, a real spiritual being, a real spiritual being that you can relate with, a real spiritual being that you can interact with. Life is spiritual, whether on the negative or the positive side. Don't take life at face value. I heard a story of a particular man who was a professor, I mean an associate professor, very wise, had read all the things that are readable, reached the apex of knowledge when it comes to knowledge. All of a sudden he went to the village and brought a house girl who was negatively educated in the spiritual. Brought a house girl who was deeply rooted in the spiritual from the other side. And you won't believe this small girl that was 14 years, a bit 12 years now, was manipulating the entire family, manipulating them spiritually. Everything the man had, he started losing. His children started getting sick. Everything was just going haywire, simply because he brought somebody who was educated in the spiritual, in the negative. So don't join the bad wagon to say that you are woke, and you are woke means that you are no longer, you don't take spirituality serious. You are not praying. You are not taking life seriously. Some will tell you, some will make statements like how, and I'm not, I don't know. If I make the statement I want to make now, I have to take time to explain the statement again. But however, I will not make it. Okay. But someone will make statements, trying to call people, okay, this person, does he know this thing you're saying? Is he a spiritual person? And why is so and so and so working for the person? Ah, Jesus Christ, me. Don't People are not wise. Many people are just not wise. Many of the people that you are looking for, you are looking at out there, that you feel like they don't have a connection to spirit, they don't have a spiritual connection. By the time you look at their schedule and see the kind of things they do, you find out that these are people who are highly educated in spirituality. One of the richest men one time, some of you, I don't want to call names now, some of you know him. Somebody, I had an argument with somebody one time. The guy was saying, this guy, see all the money he has. Does he pray? Does he go to church? Does he know anything? He doesn't know anything about God. And we now researched it. He now saw, because I showed him, that this person you're saying goes for spiritual retreats twice a year. He goes to a particular temple, they lock themselves there for a particular period of time twice a year. Just because they come on TV and they wear suit and tie and make you feel like there's nothing happening, it's just a matter of what we know. Business is going. We have business wisdom. We have business acumen. You feel like they don't know anything. See, don't dull yourself. Take your spirituality serious. Take spirituality serious. Don't leave things to chance. There are a lot of advantage. Your greatest advantage is in the spiritual realm. This is what I this is what I've learned from my life. My greatest advantage of life is in the spiritual realm, and I'm very active to consciously, intentionally active to maximize all of it. I can't tell you how many times where I needed to do something, and maybe I now go and take, do a quiet time or pray about it, and exactly what to do to make what I'm looking for come, I just go do it, and it comes exactly the way I'm seeing it, exactly the way I've seen it, exactly the way I was told that it will happen. So don't play with spirituality. Don't play with your spirituality. I'm telling you. You get what I'm saying? Don't be casual with life. Don't allow people to cheat you, make you feel like is everybody's just speaking English. A lot of people make you feel like everybody's just speaking English, and everybody's just is casual about life. Life is deeply spiritual. I'm telling you. There are some things I do on a weekly basis. I don't feel, because I know how much impact it has on me. I'm gonna share one with you. Earlier this year, God told me something, gave me some instructions, and many of the things He told me was going to happen this year, I thought they were just going to happen like that. But however, somehow within the second quarter of the year, God told me that for you to be able to access this level of thing, this is what you should be doing every week. And I started it. Many of the things that I would have achieved earlier, first quarter of the year, I started seeing them the second, the third quarter, and I'm still seeing many of them. If I had started doing what God told me, start doing second quarter, I would have been having the result later, earlier. You know what I'm trying to say? So don't take spirituality casual. I mean, whatever religion you find yourself in, I'm telling you, don't play with spirituality. There's a lot that you can lose if you are not educated in the spiritual. If you're not educated, there is a lot you can lose. I've had situations, instances where people try to threaten me because they felt all I speak is English. I remember when I got married, then the following day, somebody called me that he's calling me from the shrine now, that somebody brought my picture to him, that they told him to give me stroke or to give me accident. That however, when he looked at the picture, he saw that I'm a young person, that he was not asking me, what did you even do to this person to want this person to do you this kind of charm? You know what I told him? I said, go ahead. I said, go ahead. Whatever they told you to do, do it now. Don't waste time. Oh. Do it now, 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 now. Let it start now. See, life is spiritual. I've had people that threaten me to go diabolical. And the reason why I stand tall every time you see me, ever gallant, gallant in spirit, gallant in body, is because I'm highly educated in the spiritual. I'm not, if you see me at surface level, you did not see me enough. If you see me at surface level, you've not seen me enough. I know somebody that threatened me one time, my business. I called the guy by 12 and he said he was going to go diabolical. I called him by 12 midnight. I said, I'm here now. I'm available now. Whatever it is you want to do, let's start. Sent him a WhatsApp message. I said, I'm waiting for you now. It's 12 midnight. Maybe this is the time you people used to be more powerful. I'm here. I'm here now. Let's do it, man to man. Life is spiritual, guys. Life is highly spiritual. If you take your spirituality, if you dull spiritually, a lot of things will pass you by. A lot of opportunities, a lot of things that would have been, helped your life move forward will pass you by and you will not know. So if it's pray, pray well. If you can fast, fast well. You get what I'm saying? But be spiritually active. Don't take it for granted. People can crash your 10 years of suffering in your business. Somebody can just drop one useless handkerchief in your business and that's all. Your business is gone. Your 15 years of suffering. Don't say you don't believe it. It happens. Don't say you don't believe it. That is not, those things are not real. Bro. 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 Let me call you for the last time. Bro. Take life serious. Oh. Take spirituality serious. They can play first. All right, so that's all for today. So if you got some value today, type value on the comment section. Type value. Type value on the comment section if you got value today. Then I think we do have time to take questions. We'll just take two questions, just two, only two. If you can get two questions, that'll be fine. But if not, I don't want this session to pass 2 hours. This is already 1 hour 51 minutes. So I don't want it to pass 1 second more than 2 hours. Good. I see people typing value. Amazing. Glad you guys are getting involved. If you have any question, ask fast. If you have any question, ask and ask it fast so that we can call it a day. Okay. All right. So we're still in the school of wisdom. Remember, I told you that with the Wisdom Bank mentorship, the idea is that we'll be treating different topics that borders life, business, satisfaction of life, purpose, destiny. And so we've been handling the school of wisdom. We've had, I think, 4 different schools so far under the school of wisdom. We've treated like I think 4 different topics under the school of wisdom. Let me look again, confirm what I'm saying. Okay, yeah. So 4 so far. Okay, just 2 actually, part 1 and part 2. We've talked about finding rhythm in the chaos of life. If you've not watched that video, please go and watch it. Okay. Finding rhythm in the chaos of life. This is where I talked about discovering purpose, understanding purpose, the different marks of purpose, the different pointers to purpose. I did a part 1 and part 2 of that. Then currently we're doing the 10 mistakes of destiny. We started part 1, but we couldn't finish. Hence, we are doing part 2, and we've rounded up part 2 today. So, as much as possible, please follow up actively in the classes. There's a topic already on my heart. I just want to confirm that that's the right topic that we should be treating under the School of Wisdom. So when we are done with the School of Wisdom, then we have other schools like the School of Finance, where we're talking basically just money, everything money. Then I'll be talking about, we also have the School of Leadership, where we talk about leadership, what it means to be a leader, how to stand out, and all of that. Then we'll have the School of Purpose, okay? Everything related to purpose. And then the School of Character. So just different schools. So it's a long-term mentorship. So please stick with me. It's obviously free, as you guys would have noticed already. So it's free. So it's just me trying to give back When I turned 30 earlier this year, it just came strongly in my heart that this is time to learn, teach the things I know. To an extent, I've been able to get results on many levels. You understand? When I mean results, now I mean results both in every area of my life. Marriage, relationship, business wise, financially wise. I think I have enough result, enough to teach. I might not be the richest man in this world, but then enough result to teach what I know to people who would be able to get value from it. So hence, we're having these classes under the on the schools under the mentorship program. All right. So that said, thank you guys for joining. I don't see any question here so far. Everybody's just saying value, 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 value. So that said, thank you guys for joining. See you guys on the WhatsApp group. So go on the WhatsApp group and please, everything you've learned today, please type it on the WhatsApp group. Let people learn. Also, let people know what you've got. Just take one of your takeaways from today's session. Go on the WhatsApp group and type it. Okay, what you learned from today that you're taking away, the main takeaway for today. Go on the WhatsApp group and type it there, and I'll respond. I'll read you guys on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so thank you. Love you guys so much. Have a wonderful night rest, everyone. Good night.